Sharing today, continuing from Sefer Yetzirah. I did not record a video yesterday, but I would like to continue where I left off before. And so in Sefer Yetzirah, we learn, this was written, as I mentioned, by Avraham Avinu. Avraham, the first patriarch, the father of all Jews, of even any derivatives of Jews, which is, it got perverted into Christianity. Even Muslim people is the son of Avraham, which is Ishmael. So Islam, basically. And that's why these are the circumcised people, because Abraham was the first one to get circumcised. So God, and some say he got this from Adam, the first man, Adam and Eve. So godly wisdom is what we can comprehend, is like the hair to a head. The way the stuff we can't comprehend is like the brain to the head. So it's inside versus outside. The hair, you can't see my brain, but you might get an indirect perception of it. It has to die so much and separate for us to be able to receive it. So you see here, this is like dead skin, right? The actual living pieces of hair is inside in the bulb. So this is the treasure of fine gold mentioned, that is the unknowable divine intellect. It's like an analogy that it's like this such precious, exquisite. So we have to draw lines to write letters on for the Torah, which is like sharp instruments on parchment. And these are like, we can use as meditations on a letter to picture it in black fire on white fire, picturing it concentrating on the near invisible line upon which it's written. They're like written straight. And then the hill which all mouths turn, where the temple was built. Every day when Jewish people pray, we face toward the temple in the east. Unless you live in Israel, then you might have to face south or west or north, depending on where you are. But we face that site. And Yaakov called it the gate of heaven, Jacob, Avram's grandson. We can see the hair on the divine beard as the universe. I mentioned in the previous video more details about this. Each hair on the, we called them serpents, we called them teli, we called them leviathan, we called them galaxies. Galgal is a cycle. It's king over time. It's the sphere of the zodiac. We have 22 letters that had to be fixed in the Galgal to produce the 231 gates. How do we get there? We go the first with the second, with the third, then with the fourth, then, first, second, third, fifth. And so on. Like, let's see if I have anything with the aleph base here. Give me a second. It doesn't, I do. I have. In the beginning of a Jewish Siddur, a prayer book, we have it. So just to have something to show. And we know that the Sufa was like the whirlwind. Isaiah 17:13, it was like a sphere before the whirlwind, which is also associated with God's voice. The voice of your thunder was in your sphere. That's from Tehillim, Psalms, by King David, 77, verse 19. And below the feet of the Kruvim, the cherubim, come to the innards of the Galgal. Beneath the cherubim, the Kruvim, is is from Ezekiel chapter 10, verse 2. Also, did as Chayot, which is the Yetzirah beings, which Galgal lifts 1, 2. So the womb, the Bina, is the mother, where the future is born. Chachma is the past. So Chachma is like the seed, which came about from the man, from whatever he was doing. It reflects his health, whatever, most recently. And then she could create the baby, which is what's going to be done in the future. But let me go now to this and show you. These are the 22 letters. This is the vowels at the bottom. Wow, my nails match it. That's beautiful. So these letters, you have 1 with 2. You have 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3. But really, you have up till this one. So that's how we get from 22, like as a code, to get to the 22 letters, which is 231 gates. So continuing with this topic, we have 32 paths in the tree of life. This actually is related to the heart. So we went from the head, now we're at the heart. The king over dimension of spirit travels through fire, the fire of darkness, which we hear in Devarim 5:20, that God spoke out of it. There's this burning longing that comes from a total nullification of thought. It's the primeval Torah. The heart of heaven is the heart of Zeir Anpin, mentioned before, the micropospis, which is the small face. We have the shin as the teli, which is the head. We have the mem, which is the galgal, the womb, the belly, and the aleph, which is the heart, which is the chest. These are the three mothers we know which gave way to the kings, which is the universe, the year, and the soul. Or tagal, which is the rejoicing in the union. So we have meditating, brings the union, really, and that's how we rejoice. So there's this 5D continuum in space-time spirit that results from the universe, olam, year, shana, and soul. The teli, again, is the axis, the longitude. And then we have the galgal, which is the latitude. And then we have the heart, which is the altitude, the radius. The heart is the king of the soul, the mystical experience. It runs the heart. Lamed Beis is 32 paths of wisdom. We know. So here we're going from the head to the heart. There's the heart of heaven, which is at Sinai, speaking from fire. Of the burning mountain, the darkness, the cloud, the gloom, all of which hung over and came close. This fire is a revelation. It's the third part of the initiation of the revelation, which is storm wind, great cloud, and flashing fire. In fire, only in which he visualized the chashmal, that's from Ezekiel, we learn. And the breath and the holy breath, which emanates from the throne. So the breath emanates from the heart, holy breath emanates from the throne. This is what we call divine inspiration. And we have, Elijah is 3 steps: wind, sound, and fire. And Yaakov is about the fire, which is the ladder in Jacob's dream. So we have breath, we have water from breath, and then we have fire from water. So this fire is the throne of glory, the seraphim, the ofanim, and the holy chayot. And continuing, we have now how the aleph, or the heart, and we have bina, which is the teli, and the shin, right? And then we have mem, which is the galgal, and the water below. So air of breath rules, decides between the fire above, the water below, because chachma, which is fire, supports water, and mem hums. It goes, that's this letter. Let me show you what it looks like. This letter, mem. And I've mentioned before, some of them have the long form. So we have here mem with a shlas mem. It's the long form. At the end of a word, you'll have this mem. Then we have pei fei. It's 2 forms of the same letter. And then we have langer fei, which is like the long form. Same with tzaddik, nun. You see they have a long form right next to them. And we also have chaf. We have kaf and chaf, 2 forms of the same one. You see they have a dot, one doesn't, like this one. And like this one, and like this one. One has a dot, one doesn't. Then we have here langer chaf, and this is taf, shin. So we see here's the aleph, this is the mem, and this is the shin. I hope that while I'm looking at the video, it looks backwards. I hope that it's not backwards. Maybe I need to do something, get a mirror to turn it, but whatever. I didn't know that it's recording me backwards till now. Anyway, so then we have the shin. So that was the mem. The mem, this one, goes and we have shin. So if it's backwards, it might be hard to see, but the first one has is supposed to have a dot on the right, the top right. So if it looks like it's on the left, it's because it's backwards. All these letters look backwards to me. Then in the video, but it could be that it will flip around when it's for you, when you watch it. Then there's a sin here, so we have shis, but shin really is the form, and it goes shh. It hisses, and then we have aleph, which is the first one here, and that one is the aleph breath. It decides between, so it's like you either go right? Then we have the water mem chachma, fire shin bina. Chachma is wisdom, bina, like we said earlier, chachma is like the seed, and then wisdom is bina, which is like the thing that develops it and brings it about, understanding. And when we penetrate chachma and bina into Zeir Anpin, the yesod of chachma penetrates the yesod of Zeir Anpin. So yesod of chachma is really in the head, and then Zeir Anpin is the emotives, the 7 emotives. So then the 6 emotives, then we have malchut, which is the royalty, sovereignty, manifestation in the physical world of time, space. So while yesod of bina to tiferet of Zeir Anpin only. So we have yesod of chachma. Each of the 10 Sfirot has the 10 Sfirot in it. So we have Yesod of Chachma going to the 7 emotives, to the Yesod of Yesod. It's in Zeir Anpin, the 6 emotives. We have the Yesod inside of it. So you have the Yesod of Chachma. Inside of it, you have a Yesod. You have the Zeir Anpin, the Yesod of that. Then you have which connects to this Yesod. So in other words, you have this layer. You have Chachma, and then inside of the person you have the Yesod, and then we have in Bina we have to the Tiferet. So inside of here you have Chachma and Bina, and then in the Bina you have Zeir Anpin, this whole one, and it's Tiferet of that one. So it's like you're looking at 10 doors. Each of the doors will have another 10 doors inside of it. So you open one door and then you choose that door again. So it's like really very specific pathways. It's not random. So Chachma clothed in Bina is the first revealed where Bina ends. So it's like the skin coming out. So this is the Bina clothing me. This is the Chachma. So you see Chachma where the Bina is not over it, right? So wisdom may penetrate into creation to a greater degree than understanding may be found in lower levels, but still Bina supports Chachma and is below it. Space is related to fire, time is related to water, and the spirit is related to ear. The tele in the universe is like a king on a throne. It's a cycle of the year is like the king's provinces, and the heart of the soul is like a king in war. So let's go through this for a second. The tele, like the axis. So the universe revolves around the tele. It's a focus of motion without moving, and the spirit doesn't lose aloofness, even though it's as concerned, or with its subjects, or it enters into the physical. Then we have, the midpoint with the heart between good and evil. Now as opposites, good urges, battling the evil urge. So the good urges battling the evil urges, evil urge or urges. And then the year, we have not only does the cycle define time, but becomes part of it and flows. To perceive time, only we have to be in the now. Otherwise, the memory or the imagination is taking over. Immediate is actually like proximal versus space, which is at a distance. So we have light and dark. We say they can't coexist because when you have light of a candle, it takes up the darkness. But that's only, from our end. God can create light and dark next to each other. That's art. The creator can create that, right? That's the miracle. So in Ecclesiastes Koheles, which is King Solomon, says God also made one opposite the other, right? So we know good is opposite evil, evil is opposite good. Good from good, evil from evil. Good defines evil and evil defines good, right? Good is kept for the good ones and evil is kept for the evil ones. And I'm going to stop here with Sefer Yetzirah now. And just on the note that good is the closest point on this axis to God. God is good. And I will continue soon. This was the video for yesterday, which I missed. And I will record one shortly for today. Okay, bye.